Hey, okay, kind of lots to say, but I just want to kind of come on and okay. Also tonight we're only gonna have one glass. I'm not gonna get fucked up. This is a sweet Chateau Michel. It's a Riesling. Riesling is one of the It's in Columbia Valley, is where it comes from. It's Washington State's founding winery. Um, so cool thing about a Riesling, I think it's like a New Zealand grape. We can talk about wine kind of a lot on this channel now just because I have to learn so much about it. We're only going to have one glass tonight because obviously you guys saw how it was when well, you didn't get to see it because I passed out. Um, mm. So that's been sitting in my fridge for like 2 days. It's, um, it's definitely light. It's blanc de blanc, meaning it's a white grape. Um, when it goes through the fermentation process, it's kind of taste fermentation process. It doesn't actually touch the what do you call it? The skin of the grape. That's what makes wine red. If you didn't know that, it tastes a little bit sparkling. It's not, but now this doesn't actually apply to me. But I know I've told you guys this before, but I've worked with people who have been serving for a very long time, like it's their career path. Now I think serving is also going to be my career path. So I just want to. I've made other videos about it, and I think I put them all in a playlist. So I'll just like link all the ones that I can remember at this moment here, and I'll just put the playlist in this video. But mm, wow. Okay, so it's giving like a hint of pineapple, maybe a hint of apple. Sorry, we'll put that down, and I will actually get to the point. So I have two people on my team right now who are like what I would call like master servers, and that just means they've been serving at like really high end steakhouses for like a while. So they know all of these things about like meat cuts and wines. And those are all things that like I didn't really know. So I'm like learning those things for the first time. But they gave us all this really great training material. So like by just going over the training material, I'm learning so much. Oh my god. And I'm finally getting to learn like all these things about wine. There's like a master wine book, which is really cool. I'm gonna buy it. Um, and oh, man, there's so much to learn. Um, there's so much. Um, First of all, understanding like how to describe a dish, all the ingredients in the dish, how to talk about the taste of the dish, how to talk about like pairing wine with the dish, talking about like the cooks of meat, all of that type of stuff, which I feel like I'm like a foodie, but I like all types of food. And I'm not that person who just says, like, I have to have like a Michelin star grade meal and it has to be like 5 courses and all these things. Like, I'm not that person. I'm not like that much of a like food snobby, but like, I definitely appreciate like a lovely meal. Um, and I also appreciate like learning a lot about wine. I think maybe a new career for me might be just like a sommelier. And there's all these trainings that you can do to like become a master sommelier. So that's probably a thing I would do. But to talk for a second, I mean, I got my training started in California where I was doing like fine dining catering. And like a lot of the fine dining places, especially if you get in when they just open, they will put you through training. So you actually don't really have to know how to do much of anything. And just by like showing up, they're going to like teach you how to do stuff. Right? So by just showing up and participating, like that is quite enough for you to get to where you like need to be. Like that's kind of what's required. And I do feel like sometimes people miss out on that, or they like overthink it, like, oh, you have to like know everything, and you don't. But it's like really cool because like I was talking to like some of my coworkers and I was all like, oh, like like how long have you guys been serving? And I had all these questions, and like some of them have been, first of all, serving for like 20 years or like 10 years or something. And like some people are like, everyone pretty much came to the consensus like, yes, if you're serving in like fine dining at a pretty like good restaurant, like you're probably going to make over $100,000 a year. And that's in like any big city, New York, Seattle, Washington, anywhere where there's like kind of like a middle class, like Dallas, right? Like you're gonna make really good money just being a server. So it's not just like this job where you're like barely pinching pennies. But I also will say, like, working at like one of the jobs that I have, a few jobs, but like working at one of the jobs that I have, I only work Saturdays and Sundays, and I only work like a morning shift. And just with like that, every single weekend, Saturday and Sunday combined, like that's it, I make $500. So that means by like just working on Saturday and Sunday, so 2 days out of the week, I make $2,000. That's working 8 days out of the month. I mean, I'm not saying that that's like a, it's not like a jaw dropping amount of money, but it's also not like, when you kind of think about it, and that's working from like 7 to 2. So all the other hours of the, I mean, if you can find somewhere where you can live, off of $2,000 a month, right? But let's say if you're like if you're living at your parents' house, that's a pretty good gimmick, okay? Like working 2 days out of the week and having $2,000 in your pocket. Basically to just blow. Also, I just think some parts are really funny when people make a lot of excuses about like how they can't pay their bills, or they can't move out. It's just like they do all these things. Everyone's like going to college or not going to college, whatever people are doing. I don't really know. The point is, like, you could just show up and learn how to, yeah, by basically learning how to show up on time, how to talk to people, how to place an order. You could have a pretty stellar, like a killer experience. Um, just being a waitress, a server. So I just wanted to like say that and remind you. And if you're interested, like I'm a person who's probably gonna work. Like I work with one server. I love her. I'm not gonna say her name, but if she watches this channel, just know that I love you so much. And I think she knows because I tell her like every shift. But she's so great, and she's been serving. I think she's like 87 now. And she's been serving like her whole life. Like this is the only job that she's had. And she kills it. Like I think she works Saturday and Sunday, but I think she works like one other day of the week. So like you can definitely live out your 100 years with no other skill besides getting on YouTube, listening to me talk about all of the ins and outs of my life, and then just, walking plates to tables, smiling at people, and correcting kitchen mistakes for 100 years. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. So I just wanted to say that and say it seriously.